Hey, what's up, y'all? Once again, this your man in 100 grand, Dr. G. You know, just once again sitting in my truck outside the gym, about to go in there and get another session in. But I just want to have a fucking talk about this subject that's in the title line of this video. What is our purpose as men? Now, I decided to make this video because for a few reasons. Number one, so many young men are lost now. Hell, people in general, not just young men, just people in general are just lost. They don't know who they are. They don't know who they are because they're busy thinking that, well, society says to make money, and if you're not a guy that makes money, then you're a nobody. Or society says I'm supposed to be this way, and if I'm not this way, then I'm a nobody. And it has a lot of people, a lot of men running around in their minds really asking themselves, what the hell purpose do I have on this earth? And that leaves a lot of young men depressed. It leaves a lot of young men, just clueless as to, why they're here. This is why the suicide rates are so high amongst men. This is why, antidepressants, like the consumption of antidepressant meds are at an all-time high. Higher than it's ever been in history. Because a lot of men don't know their purpose. And a lot of men aren't actively pursuing their purpose. Today is a unique day for me. Today is June 24th. June 24th, 2 years ago, I almost died. I was so June 24th, 2021, at 9 p.m., I was at a four-way intersection. The light was green on my end. And of course, I live down here in Florida where people don't know how to fucking drive. And somebody decided to run the red light. And, and once they ran the red light, they hit the side of my truck, the truck that I used to have, and it launched me head first out of the fucking out of the vehicle. Like, it hit me from the right side, like say this side right here. It hit me from the right side. I had my seatbelt on. The force from the impact was so crazy that it ripped me out of my seatbelt here. I flew head first through the window that way, through the fucking glass, and landed on the ground and was dragged underneath the truck for about an additional quarter mile. I broke 3 ribs. I had a piece of my lower lumbar spine still floating around. Couldn't walk. Aside from that, I was going into shock. Never, as a doc, as a medic, throughout my lifetime, I've seen people go into shock, but I've never gone into shock myself. I had a laceration in the front of my head. I had a contusion. And I thought I was going to fucking die, like dead ass serious. So my truck was completely destroyed. Didn't know if I was going to fucking live. Thought I had something broken internally as far as an organ because my insides were hurting and shit. And, my leg was dragging underneath a smoking truck And I didn't know if the damn truck was going to explode or not. So here I am on the ground going into shock. I can't even sit up because my ribs are broken. I can't move because I was going into shock. You know, eyes were dilated. I'm bloody. You know, it's hot as hell down here. But I was I was frozen to death because I was going into shock. That's, so I was thinking in my mind, did I serve my purpose on this earth? In that moment, ironically, I was thinking, number one, am I gonna live? Number two, who will give a fuck if if I make it through this shit? And number three, did I serve my purpose while I was here? Like I said, it's not the first time I damn near died. Second time I damn near died was when I was in Iraq. Had a little girl, looked like she was about 9 years old, and a grown man that was doing patrol. That was on the top of a building while we were setting up barbed wire, doing patrol around the base that we was at. Started to hear gunshots. You hear gunshots all the time. Then I started to hear the gunshots come closer. You literally heard the bullets whizzing past our head and hitting the building behind us. And I damn near died there. Damn near died another time around when I was in Iraq. The second time I went, when a mortar, which is basically a bomb that you put down a tube and it shoots out, when the mortar landed 13 feet away from me. And keep in mind, the mortar has an 80-foot kill radius. So I could have easily died, but they didn't prime the mortar so it didn't blow up. And if it did, I wouldn't be talking to y'all right now. So I look at all these close calls I had with death in my life so far. And I think about purpose. Now, a lot of people will say, well, your purpose is to produce and provide and have children and all of that shit. Maybe that's not the purpose for every man. Maybe every man shouldn't be out here having children. They'd be like, well, your purpose is to reproduce and teach your knowledge to the next generation. And look, man, the reason I haven't reproduced is because I'm not bullshitting myself. I look at society now and I'd be like, what kind of fucking place is this to raise a child? I look at purpose as far as that goes. I look at how I was raised as a child. I was put in juvenile homes for having, by my fucking father, who was a deputy sheriff. I was put in juvenile homes for getting a C on my report card. I remember getting ass whoopings as a child, man. Motherfucking got blinded in my left eye. Couldn't see for a month. I had to lie and say that I motherfucking hurt. I fucking blinded my eye by playing football with the kids in the neighborhood. I look at my childhood and I look at times like, where when I basically had to spend the night outside the fucking house in my drawers. This is when I was like 12 years old. When I had a cast on my arm. It's like 20 degrees outside in the wintertime in Georgia. And I said something, I don't remember what the fuck I said. And my parents put me outside the house in my drawers in 20 degrees. Had to spend the night outside in my damn drawers at the age of 12. So I look at my childhood and I'm like, do I really want to fucking be a parent? Seeing my childhood and how my shit went down. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I struggle every day trying to, trying to define what my purpose is. It's a never-ending search. It's a never-ending search. And I think it's like that for most men. Because, we're seen as basically, ATM machines with a dick attached. It's like, a wise man once said that the only ones loved unconditionally are women, children, and dogs. Nobody cares about men, and nobody gives a fuck about us as far as our lives go. So it's kind of hard to define an ongoing purpose in our lives if we're not providing for someone, which I think is kind of fucking sad, to be honest. I know this is a change of pace from the videos I usually make, but I had to speak on this, man, because better men than me have committed suicide because they couldn't define their purpose. I have 2 friends of mine that I used to be stationed with that are no longer with us because they couldn't define a purpose to keep to keep going on in life. Because they were constantly taken advantage of, because nobody appreciated them, because nobody, even their families, nobody even cared about the sacrifices that they've made. So it's like, what are we really put here to do? What are we put here to just work our asses off until we're like 70 years old and then and then finally retire to enjoy like 10 years of life left if we have that? So what is our purpose here? Just to work and work and work and then keep our bodies in shape and so we can have our health together? And is that our purpose? What is our purpose? You work to keep a roof over your head, you work out and eat right just to keep your body together, and then you die. Is that what life is? I mean, is that all there is? I mean, this is why I support guys who just go off the beaten path and they do stuff like the Passport Bros movement, and they do stuff like go their own way, because it gives them more clarity on their purpose. It gives them more clarity of who they are as an individual. It gives them more clarity on what path to go down as a man. And they choose a path that's unique to them. They choose a path that makes the most sense to them, that gives them the most freedom and the most clarity of mind. It's like, do what makes you happy. Cherish those who are in your corner. Because it's a cruel world out here, man. It's a cruel world out here with a lot of people that don't know what the fuck they're here for, and it destroys them on the inside. Find your purpose. Go with that. And go wholeheartedly with that, because you got one life. You got one life, so live it to the best of your ability. I say that shit from the bottom of my soul, man, because, hell, I could have died so many times, and statistically speaking, where I'm from, I wasn't supposed to live to see the age of 40. So I'm constantly thinking about why am I still here? What is my purpose? What make me so fucking special when better people than me didn't survive, didn't survive to live this long. That's that's all I got to say about this, man. I mean, I could go for at least an hour on this subject of men finding their purpose. I can go forever on that subject, just on this subject alone. I had to give some examples of my own life, so y'all can really see where I'm coming from with this. So find your purpose, go after it, and Godspeed, man. That's all I gotta say about this, man. It's your boy Doc G out. Peace.